Hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is NEZEVILLE. Oh my god, okay, today's gist is going to be intense. I need to pour myself some juice. But before I begin, if you're seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Thumbs up already now. Kilo Shele. What are you waiting for? You guys know that my story times, my talks, my gist are always 1000 over 100. So if you trust that this is going to be a good video, begin to give us a thumbs up. In today's video, I am going to be exposing my mother-in-law. I'm going to be revealing every single detail, everything. I need it to be on record. I need it to be out there. I need the world to know. I need the world to hear it. I need my children and grandchildren to watch this. You know, I have contemplated for a while whether or not to do this video because I didn't want to sound so presumptuous. But I have always been an advocate of giving people what is due to them when it is due to them. I have always been one who strongly propagates that one's flowers be given to one when they can smell it. Guys, I want every single person to watch this video. Whether you're a man, a woman, a girl, a boy, single, married, grandmother, grandfather, I want you to please watch this video intensely to the end. I want to tell you guys about a woman called Lady Ngozi. Not lady anymore because she's now a dame. So, Dame Ngozi. This woman called my mother-in-law. You see, I married a man who is an only son in a very, very big family. A very large family. Not large nuclear family, a very large extended family. My husband's grandfather, that's his father's father, was a big man at his time. He was one of the very few literates that could read and write. So he worked as an interpreter for the white men during the era of the missionaries visiting, colonialism, and when the white men invaded our land. My grandfather-in-law, that's my husband's grandfather, was educated. So he was very priceless. He was like a Jew at that time, especially considering the communication gaps that existed between the white men and the local indigenes. And as one of the very few enlightened men of his time, his position naturally attracted influence and affluence, and of course, women. Call my husband's grandfather the King Solomon of his time. My husband's grandfather had 10 wives. I don't mean concubines, I mean legally wedded wives. He married 10 wives, the creme de la crop. I mean, families would literally take their daughters to him, to hand them over to him, because it was such a prestigious thing to be married to that man. So he had women, all kinds of women, of different shapes and sizes, fall on his laps the second he whistles or click the finger. And do you know the resultant effects of having so many wives? Lots of children. I've lost count, but my husband's grandfather had so many children. From these, his 10 wives and possibly others. I'm going to be very, very honest and practical to you. The truth is that in such large polygamous families, a male child is valued very tremendously. No offense to women. You guys know that I value women so much. But the truth is that in such Igbo polygamous large families, the importance of having a male child in your own kitchen to continue the lineage of that your own family cannot be overemphasized, especially at that time. So my mother-in-law married into such a family. She had only one son, my husband. My father-in-law, whom I never met, by the way, but whom I already love so much, despite I didn't meet him, his head was fire. So I already know that if I had met him, we would have connected on so many levels. But unfortunately, he died many years before I got married to the family. So that my father-in-law eventually died was so unfortunate. He didn't live to see any of his grandchildren from his only son. He passed. Married into such large polygamous family and having only one son, and your husband late, a widow with an only son, you can imagine what my husband is to my mother-in-law. I will not use was because it's forever. He was her hope, her life, her trust, her everything, her future, her leg, her eyes, her ear, her mouth. My husband is everything to my mother-in-law. Was everything right from when he was little. You know, I get so offended when they use the word ofumburanya, ofumburunwa, and I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean by ofumburunwa? So are girls not children? Hello. But the truth is that in reality, that my husband to my mother-in-law was her one eye. They had such a close relationship. I have never seen any mother-son relationship like that before. When I just met my husband, they would talk every blessed day, both relevant talk, irrelevant talk, girl talk, boy talk, to the extent of, what of your beards? When will you go to the salon? Will you cut your hair? They were so close. Him being an only son of a widowed Igbo woman, he is not only her son, he is her husband, he is her brother, her mouthpiece, her confidant, her everything. So when my husband started coming along, when he started waylaying me and toasting me, and I got wind of the situation because I'm someone that observes my environment very fast. And I saw what was happening. I was like, hey, Jesus, Jesus. When my husband came to see me in Lagos, my mother-in-law will call, they will talk. I was like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, ayaga you. How will I cope in this condition? How will I cope in this catastrophic cataclysm? I wouldn't say I had fears because there was no reason for fears yet. I would say I had ideas and I had my own well-founded apprehensions, just as every human being will be, especially one who has been exposed to the Nollywood perception of mother-in-law, especially one who had watched Patience Tozokwo acts in Nigerian movies. I already had ideas. I was like, okay, these two are pretty close. You see, my mother-in-law might treat my husband like a king. Okay, Madam Sabi. But me myself, I am a queen from where I was coming from. I too, coincidentally, is an only daughter to an Igbo chief. Only daughter don't meet only son. No. Only daughter don't jam only son. Bumburu. Drella don't jam tipper. Oh yeah. So I myself was coming from a family of love and adoration, where I was treated like a priceless jewel. As the only daughter, I have and had an extremely close relationship with my mother. And my father worships the ground that I step on. Even up till today, I'm the only one in the world that if my father wants to do something, I'm the only one that can say, Daddy, don't do it, and he will not do it. That is the kind of love and upbringing I had as the only daughter. So I already had a very high standard of love and acceptance, and I knew that I would never have been able to cope with a man or a marriage that treats me like trash, or in-laws that treats me like trash. I already know that I, for one, Chineyeze Adeze, will not cope. What you don't know pass you. I don't know such things. I don't know environments of sadness or maltreatment. So I knew that I would not be able to cope with the Patience Ozokwo as a mother-in-law. You guys should just be listening to this story. Oh, very important. My first encounter with my mother-in-law was on the phone. We spoke on the phone and she was the most pleasant, kindest person ever. You know, sometimes when a woman just meets her mother-in-law, either physically or on the phone, the mother-in-law will be, sounding distant, so she won't be so pushy as the one that is forcing the closeness. You know, women, we have problem. Women have problem, Yakata. I have never seen a man and his father-in-law fighting, tussle, power tussle. But you see a woman and the mother-in-law, time immemorial, they know they agree. So some mother-in-laws, the first time they talk to their daughter, they'll be, trying to study her, how she sounds, making some judgments, making some decisions. My mother-in-law came out in Yakata and sounded like someone, like 2 high school friends. She was so warm. She was laughing. She was smiling. She was playing with me on the phone. I was like, what's going on here? Our first meeting was in Port Harcourt. You know, I was born and raised in Lagos. My husband was born and raised in the East. So my mother-in-law was at my sister-in-law's place, my husband's elder sister. And I came to Port Harcourt to see his family for the first time. So I went to his sister's house to meet them. My mother-in-law, a typical mother-in-law, would sit down in the parlor and wait for her daughter-in-law to come in and greet her. You know, kneel down or greet mommy and something. My mother-in-law, once my husband drove into the compound, my mother-in-law stood up from the parlor, ran outside to come and meet me, came to hug me and brought me out of the car, took me into the parlor and made me sit on her laps. The first day I saw her, there was no air of, trying to check boundaries, trying to know who will be loyal to who, trying to check my attitude, trying to weigh me. There was nothing like that. She ran outside, welcomed me, took me into her daughter's parlor, sat me on her lap, and she asked me one question. I will not forget. She asked me, "Do you love my son?" I said, "Yes, I love him." She said, "Look at me, do you love me?" Ha! Love, Okwa. I just met you, madam. I said, "Yes, I love you." She grabbed me and said, "I love you too." First day I met this woman, she has prophesied love to me. She said, "I love you too." She held me. I was sitting on her laps. She said, "You are mine. I love you." She got up, got me a wrapper. That's a bonding gift. And gifted me a wrapper. If you are not Nigerian, in the Igbo culture, a wrapper is just beyond the gift. It's like a bond. It's like acceptance. That's why when you marry into your family, they give you a wrapper. It's like acceptance. She dashed me a wrapper and we discussed. We took pictures. I wish I still have that picture. I would have attached it here. We took pictures and eventually I went home. I pinched myself. I said, "This woman's niceness. This woman is too nice. Is this who she really is, or she just likes me?" So me and my husband began dating. Me and her son began dating. And some things in life are just ordained by God. Because when I was in Lagos, I was having so many distractions, so many suitors, so many people wanted to marry me at the same time. I was in my prime. My flower just blossomed. So God just took me out of Lagos and brought me to Owerri, close to my husband and close to my in-laws. Because then I just got a job with the bank. And the bank had 3 training schools. Lagos for those in the south, Owerri for those in the east, and Abuja for those in the north. I was based in the south. So I ticked training school for Lagos, Diamond Bank then, for Lagos. How they posted me to Owerri, I was so mad. I said, "I don't have anywhere to stay in Owerri. Why did they post me to Owerri?" I didn't know that God just wanted to pick me for this man and this family and remove me from all others and brought me to Owerri. Every weekend, my husband would drive from Port Harcourt to come and see me in Owerri. I go back. Every weekend, he was on that road. Love. He will bring gifts. He will bring... Let me not discuss that for now. Let me just face this one. But love can shack me. For your love, the love is still shacking him till now. Don't change. You don't see good change. It's even worse. So, my mother-in-law also began visiting me. I remember this picture. She came to see me in Owerri. I wasn't her daughter-in-law yet. I was just her son's girlfriend. Unofficial. My mother-in-law came to my one room, what do they call it? Self-contained, right? To my one room self-contained. Brought me provisions, cooked for me, stew, jollof rice, indomie, bread, packed things for me with her car. Came to see me. She was coming to visit me in training school. With love, no expectation. I wasn't giving her anything. What do I have? What did I have then? Did I have money? I was just getting a job. I wasn't giving her anything, not even 1 naira. She was one spending money, coming to see me in training school. Okay, I was watching. I said, even if I don't like this man, this kind of acceptance that the family has given me, I don't want to talk about my sisters-in-law when I went to see them, how they treated me. the things they packed for me. I don't want to talk about the love that those ones have for me. Let me just face Lady Ngozi. Lady Ngozi, are you watching me? Lady Ngozi, are you watching me? So, the first day I went to see my mother-in-law in her house. Typically, when you go to see your mother-in-law, you'd want to do good girl, wife material. For where? That's another thing I'm going to teach you guys. I'm not saying you should not be responsible, but don't go and overdo the one that you cannot continue doing, because that's how hatred can start later. Don't go and overshow yourself when you cannot keep up. But I was really myself. I'm not an early morning person to wake up by 5 or 6 and start cleaning. I was not doing that in my house, and I didn't do that when I went to see my mother-in-law. I woke up at my normal time. And when I woke up, before I could wake up, my mother-in-law had prepared my breakfast, ran my bath water, arranged. When I wake up, she will knock. Sweetheart, have you woken up? Your bath water is ready. She would give me towel, show me to the bathroom, make sure I bathe. Before I finish bathing, she has run to the room where I slept, arranged it, saved me my breakfast, even to pack plates. She'll come and remove the plate. She will refuse me to pack it. Her husband's, I was not wife then, no. I was girlfriend stroke fiancé. If you see the way my mother-in-law treated me, I didn't even know what her kitchen looked like. She refused me from cooking or cleaning or washing plates, or she would tell her help to do it. All she wanted was for me to be happy and comfortable. Throughout that trip, believe you me, I didn't touch a single spoon in the house or broom. She was the one taking care of me, and she insisted and refused for me to do anything. All those testing, I want to test, let me test her to see whether she's a wife material. Go and give her pounded yam. Test her, whether she can pound yam. So eventually, my husband and I got married. You see, they say a woman's happiest day is her wedding day. But this one, a mother-in-law's happiest day is the day that her daughter-in-law was officially handed over to her. My mother-in-law was acting like someone that she was going up and down, all the village people, telling them, that is my daughter-in-law. All my uncles, from canopy to canopy, my mother-in-law was going around, dancing. Like, oh, Adamo, my traditional wedding. Oh my God. My mother-in-law was going around my compound. Both strangers, both villagers, rich and poor, even those that wore tattered clothes, anybody. My mother-in-law was telling everybody that cared to listen, see my daughter-in-law. I have married my daughter-in-law. She will dance, turn around, shake her waist, jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. She grabbed me. Even when my mother was crying that night, when I wanted to leave. Now I'm an only daughter. Me and my mother, we are the closest ever in this world. So when I wanted to leave that night, my mother was crying. My mother who fell sick. God, my mother-in-law. Some people were like, will you allow her to sleep this night? They called, my mother-in-law, grab me. No, she goes with me. She wicks me off. My mother was crying. Oh my God. It was the happiest day of her life. She was dancing, she was praising God. She was blessing me for coming into her family. So after our traditional wedding and our court wedding, after some months, we did the white wedding. And you guys know what happened with the white wedding, with the whole Catholic Anglican thing that almost caused trouble. So after that marriage, after that white wedding thing, it affected me. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all with the church. In fact, I stopped going to church for a long time. For a while after I got married, I refused to step my foot into the Anglican church. Instead, when my husband goes to work, because he used to work weekends then, Saturday, Sunday, I'll just go to my Catholic church. But when he's around, my mother-in-law is around, we'll not go to the Anglican church. But when you see me there, anger, I'll squeeze my face. I won't partake in anything, because it was like I was mentally tortured. So I will not partake in anything. I will not receive their Holy Communion. I will not sing. I will not dance. I'll just be looking. Like, at a point, I stopped going. I wasn't going. Even when my children came, after some years, it affected me for years. After my children came, I wasn't still going. Most times, my mother-in-law would be the one to take my children to church for me. I disconnected from church going, not from God though, from church going. They are two different things. Now, instead of my mother-in-law to blame me, like, what is the matter with you? Won't you go to church? Won't you train children in church? You know how mothers can talk now? My mother-in-law was so patient. She would advise me, she would tell me that she herself She was a Catholic, staunch Catholic. But after marriage, her and her husband went to her husband's church. That it's okay. That Catholic and Anglican, they are the same thing. She'll be petting me. She'll be begging me. She'll be pampering me. She never judged me. On Sunday, my mother-in-law will wake my children up, bathe them, dress them, take them to church. While me, I will lie down in the room. I won't come out. I didn't want to go. And instead of her to be full of judgments, she will come back buying something for me from the church. She will buy granite or corn or something for us and we'll eat together. She will cook for me, take my children to church and come back and still buy something for me and not judge me. She gradually allowed me to accept the new situation and accept my new church without judgments. So yes, let me go back to after the traditional marriage. I got pregnant. And remember when I told my mother-in-law I got pregnant, she was the happiest human being in the world. My mother-in-law somersaulted, carried her head, laid it down on the floor, put her head on the floor. Hallelujah. She was so happy. She held me, prayed for me, put her hand on my stomach, began blessing my womb. My pregnancy, of course, very difficult pregnancy, is always sick. I must throw. There's no morning of my life that I don't throw up. In fact, as I'm rushing to work, driving to work, I have my container in my car. I'll be throwing up, driving, throwing up. So it was hell. My mother-in-law literally left everything to move in with me to take care of me. My mother-in-law was a businesswoman then. She literally sacrificed her business, shut down her shop, moved into my house, and began taking care of me. Guys, every morning, my mother-in-law will wake up, make breakfast for me, put it in a warmer, pack my food. Many times she does not pack for her son. She does not do for her son. She'll pack my own. Her concern is me, not even her child. Pack my food, arrange everything, arrange the children. Anytime I can't do school runs, she will drop the children by herself. She had a bad leg, she had bad arthritis in her knee. She would drive like that, take the children to school, do school runs for me, make sure that I went to work with food every day. Anything I'm craving, my mother-in-law would cook it. If I come from the office, Mommy, what I want to eat today is ukwa. I want to eat pepper soup. Before I come back from work, it is ready. She will put it in a tray and serve me. My mother-in-law would make maternity dresses for me from her place and bring it to my house in Port Harcourt. She would stay weeks with me, months. Even when her daughters call her and say, Mommy, won't you come? She will say, no, I'm with Ada. All 4 of my mother-in-law's children, my mother-in-law has 3 daughters and 1 son. All 4 of them live in Port Harcourt. They are big girls and big boys. They are married to big odogus. They live in big mansions with maids. My mother-in-law will leave that big mansion and come and stay in my small house where she stays in my room. She doesn't even have her own room. She will live where she has guest room and helps and come and stay in my house, my small house, and be taking care of me instead of her to stay in those big houses where her daughters stay. It's not like they have any problem. Hey, they are very close. She's close to all her children. But my mother-in-law does not joke with her dad. My mother-in-law does not joke with her daughter-in-law. Okay, moving on to when I gave birth. Sure, I stay longer times in the hospital because of my delivery mode. Sometimes 5 days, thereabouts. My mother-in-law, who had arthritis on both knees, very bad, she was limping so bad, would come to the hospital and sleep on the floor. My mother-in-law is not a small woman, she's a big lady. She would sleep on the floor. She would lay something on the floor and sleep on the floor in the hospital, taking care of me and the baby. Washing my bloodied underwear. Before I wake up in the morning, my mother has washed my bloodied underwear, my bloodied nightie. She will stay with me, caring for me until my mother can fly from Lagos. Because my mother is a civil servant, so it is more difficult for her to just abscond from work for 1 month. Permission upon permission. You know how civil service is. My mother will have to look for how to sneak out from Lagos and now come and stay with me in the hospital. Then my mother-in-law will now go back to the house and be taking care of the children, cooking for us, sending food to the hospital while my mother is with me and the newborn baby. If you see my mother-in-law trying to get up from the hospital floor, it can take her 15 minutes because her knees were bad. But she still laid on the floor for me, cleaning me, caring for me, loving me, praying for me, kissing me almost to swallow me. Talking about that bad knee. After some time, it got so bad, it deteriorated so bad, she had to go for surgery. My mother-in-law had surgery, knee replacement surgery on both legs. And my husband had to go stay with her. She was in pains. You know, bone, have you faced any problem with your bone before? Pain of the bone cannot be compared to pain of the flesh. Bone, imagine an old woman in her 60s doing bone surgery on 2 legs. She almost died of pains. But whenever I talk to my mother-in-law on the phone, she doesn't talk about her pains or her recovery. All my mother-in-law will be doing is begging me, apologizing, begging me that sorry for taking my husband, that she knows that we are so close. She knows that I will miss him. She knows that nobody will help me with the generator. Please, Nim, he will soon come back to you. Oh, sorry, my love. Ndo, Nim, how are the kids? How are you coping? My mother-in-law was more concerned about how I was coping, full-fledged adult like me, how I was coping with my husband's absence, not feeling entitled to having the man, her own child. She would send me messages encouraging me to be strong. Not the old woman that had surgery, the young girl that her husband just took some days off to go and stay with his mother that had surgery. That is the kind of heart this woman who is my mother-in-law has. You know, when this thing started in our first year of marriage, I was thinking, it was just after 11 years, this woman has not changed a bit. Instead, the love is choking. It's even too much. You know, some people say to not believe social media. My dear brothers and sisters, believe. Some people might come out and lie, or some people might live a fake life, but some things on social media are real. In fact, what I am recounting to you guys is not 1/10 of the reality that I have seen in this past decade being married in my mother-in-law's family from that woman's hand. Some things on social media are 100% real. It's not everybody that is coming to tell you fake. That's why, sometimes many people that are in good marriages don't want to come and say it. Because people will say, if they tell you what they are going through, sometimes they are not going through anything. I am telling you. All marriages have hell. It's a lie. So sometimes some things on social media are real. Some good things are real. You don't doubt everything. And this relationship with my mother-in-law should be a good example. Everything that is being portrayed is not even 1/10 of our reality. So there are real things on social media. Believe me, I have never seen or heard of anything like this before. Once my mother-in-law comes to my house, before God and man, I do not know what my kitchen looks like. My mother-in-law will take over. I don't even know what's in my fridge. I don't know what's in my shelf. All I know is that she'll just write me paper. Name, we need this. Can you buy this thing for us when we are coming back from work? That's all. Whether my children eat or whether my mother-in-law will prepare food. Serve me. Bring the food and the tray into the room for me.
And I am preparing okra soup for my daughter-in-law.
As I'm eating, she's rubbing my hair. If there's heat, she's fanning me as I'm eating. When I'm done eating, she will not even allow me to pack the plate. She will pack it to the kitchen. Kiss me. After eating, she will kiss me. Ask me, you may enjoy the food. Do you enjoy? God, I miss my mother-in-law. She's not human. That woman is not human. She is superhuman. She's an angel in human form. Because I have not seen where a mother-in-law would love her daughter-in-law and love her daughter-in-law more than she loves herself, and loves her daughter-in-law almost more than how she loves her own son. Because if you remember that prank, I keep making reference to that prank. I didn't mean that prank to be a thing of hurt. But the way my mother-in-law reacted when I pranked her and told her that I was traveling to the US with my children. She asked, "Are you going with Uche?" I said no. She asked, "Are you taking me?" I said no. So you want to leave me? You are not taking me, Adam. Hey, I don't like talking about the prank because if she hears this part, it might reel up a lot of emotions. I've never seen my mother-in-law that way before. Just the thought of leaving her. She was no more asking about my husband. Say, me, Adam, you will leave me? You won't take me? Hey. My mother-in-law loves me extremely. I've never seen anything like this. Even when we go out on occasions and the caterer is maybe a family friend and there's food left, typical Nigerian mothers, they'll bring out their cooler. My mother-in-law will bring out cooler. I said, put my daughter-in-law, her daughters will be there. She won't go and get cooler to put food for her own children. My mother-in-law wants me to be comfortable first. She'll make sure she packs cake, wrap chicken, any occasion. Pack my own. Say, you can't put it in the car. Hustling for me. Hey, God, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. With the emotions, I'm just remembering the emotions that this is bringing. It's unreal. My mother-in-law would rather come and stay with me than anywhere else in the world. Whether we give her, she doesn't care. Whether we don't give her, she doesn't mind. She has never held any expectation from us or from me. She will come to my house. We will dance together. We would gist together. We will do our morning exercise together. We will take strolls together. We will go shopping together. We will go to the spa together. We will be in the kitchen together. As she's cooking, I'm entertaining her with music. We will be dancing. We will go and make our hair together. We will go shopping together. There is nothing we don't do. My mother-in-law will lay down on my matrimonial bed. Both of us, we will sign like my husband. Me and her will be on the bed. We'll be gisting, cracking granola or eating corn and coconut. And be gisting, we'll be laughing. What don't we talk about? Big Brother Niger. Hey! My mother-in-law is the first person. She will call me. Hey! Name no be kwa. Tinton Tony that be so happy to go. Hey! Who does it? My mother-in-law is very social media savvy. Instagram, everywhere she's there. She will give me all the gist. She will send memes that mothers and children do not share. She will send the memes to me. All those women that have big bum, she will send it to me. Hey, name, hell, they quite real. Hell, what did this person do to her waist that is like this? I will laugh. I'll tell her, Mommy, don't you know the meaning of BBL? We'll just everything. We just everything. My mother-in-law is my biggest supporter. From my mother-in-law, my mother, and my husband, I don't even know who I would give the award as my biggest supporter. There is no milestone that I have attained on YouTube that my mother-in-law didn't chat me to say, Name, congratulations on 100K. We move. That's how we move. My mother-in-law monitoring my progress. Not all those mother-in-laws that will feel, she'll become big now. Her eye will open. She'll be famous. Her wings will grow. Trying to clip her wings. What is this nonsense your wife is doing on YouTube? What's this your wife is saying? My mother-in-law is the one that wants me to be the first female president of Nigeria. When she sees all these female ministers, she says, hey, Adam, this is what you remind me of. I want you to be big. I want you to be a Supreme Court judge. This is what fits you. Mother-in-law wants me to be successful. She wants me to progress. Many of my YouTube videos, my mother-in-law would be the one to give me idea. Once any news breaks, she's forwarding it to me on Instagram. And then talk about this one. Is it our collaborations? My mother-in-law will say, how? What do we do now for our channel to shake? Should we dance? Should we cook? My mother-in-law, this is our dance video, the cooking video. Most of these videos, this competition that we did with my husband, that we cooked the goosey soup, my husband chose. Most of it was my mother-in-law's idea, not even me. Anything to project me, anything to make me shine, anything to make me successful, anything to make me out there, she's happy. She not only encourages it, she partakes in it. There are good people in this world. Don't let the negative press or social media stories make you think that all mothers-in-law are bad. Many people that enjoy these good things, good marriage, good husband, good mother-in-law, they don't come out to talk about it because people will say, they're pretending. They're not telling you the other parts. Sometimes there's no other parts. Sometimes that is the basic truth. So instead of settling, I hear some of my young ladies say, all men cheat. So my dear, take anyone. See rubbish you say with your mouth. Sometimes these girls daftly say it to the hearing of the men, giving them automatic tickets. My wife understands that all men cheat. Come on, let's go there. Why accept negativity when you can pray positivity to yourself and experience and enjoy God's unbridled design for marriage? Don't settle for less. Good things day. Good things day. When my mother-in-law sees my husband pampering me or doing things that the average Nigerian man will see as emasculating, when she sees my husband maybe serving me breakfast in bed or doing those kinds of things for me, she smiles. She encourages him. She doesn't feel like her son has been, hey, see what this woman has done to my son. No. Instead, she encourages him. She gets angry with him when I tell her, mommy, see, Uchenna didn't take me out, didn't flex me. He didn't flex me. My mother-in-law will scold my husband. Take this your beautiful wife out. People should go and have fun. That's what your father was doing to me when he was alive. He was taking me out. We're going to have fun. My mother-in-law will shred my husband. She has never been angry with me. She has never put me down. She has never made me feel I have to be in a position where I will compete for my husband's love or attention with her. She respects my marriage. She respects the boundaries. She respects our union. Only time I have seen my mother-in-law get angry since I married her, like get viciously angry to the extent of tearing someone into pieces, was when one of my helps told a lie against me. You know, some of these people, when they want to go, instead of them to live honorably, they feel like when they lie about some certain things, it evokes pity. And people will now say, okay, they have good reason to leave. Because if you tell people that you are being treated right, you are being cared for, they'll ask you, so why do you want to leave? Are you stupid? You are not going. So sometimes this helps. When they want to leave, they'll coin up all sorts of lies just to have that legitimacy to leave when they're tired of staying at a place, when really what they want is freedom, right? So I had this help that lied in the village that I didn't give her butter to eat bread. I didn't do this. I did. My mother-in-law was there because my mother-in-law follows me to my village. When we travel home for Christmas, we spend some days in my husband's village. Then all of us, my mother-in-law, my husband, my children, would then go to my own village to spend some part of the Christmas. So she carries my family along. So my mother-in-law was there that day that this help was telling these lies. My mother-in-law, she rose up like a wolf, like a tiger. She was crying, wanted to tear that person into two because she stays in my house. She sees how I treat them. She sees that it is a free for all, eat for all, enjoy for all. There's nothing I do for my children that I don't do for my help. Anywhere I go to, whether amusement park, whether pool, anywhere, anything I'm paying for my children, I pay for my helps. Anything I buy for my children, I pay for my helps. Anything my children eat, my helps eat. In fact, sometimes I even put my helps wishes and wants above my children. My children will be crying, my help will want something, I'll allow my help half the way. I spank my children a lot more because of my help. If my help reports to me that my children disrespect them, I spank my children more because of my help than even because of myself. That is how I treat my help. So when my mother-in-law saw the help lying against me, my mother-in-law busted into tears and started talking, standing in defense for me, shouting, standing in defense. No, not at that. I stayed in the house for months. I see, you are a liar. You are a liar. It's immediately my mother-in-law that day. It was even her reaction that made me to start crying. My mother-in-law is the definition of a good person, a good human being, a child of God. And when it was time for us to relocate, I have never seen life and joy leave my mother-in-law like when I was watching her when we were leaving, as we drove out, as she was crying. It was like they had taken her life away from her. My mother-in-law was watching me and my children and my husband leave. She was involved in all the process despite her soul was weeping. She was the one that bought all my food stuff, dried them, all the fish, all the stock fish, all the egusi, all the dried leaves. My mother-in-law was the one that bought everything and packaged everything. As my mother, my own biological mother, don't get it twisted, I am my mother. My mother is my life. She's the reason why I am who I am. Maybe I'll tell the story of my mother, maybe not, but there are more lessons to derive in our society from this story that I chose to tell with my mother-in-law than my mother. I can choose to tell you the story of my mother and be like, oh yes, she's your mother, she would love you. But where a mother-in-law loves a daughter-in-law like this, then it becomes something of note that should be spoken of. So do not get it twisted. My mother and I are the bestest friends in the world. So when my mother was there folding my things, packing our things, my mother-in-law was cooking, drying things, all those egusi soup, all those afang soup I came with, my mother-in-law was cooking them, packing them, and when we were leaving, oh God, if you see my mother-in-law, you will pity her. And ever since we left, she misses me so much. Every time she would chat to me, say Adam, I'm not okay. You left me. Oh, it's like, it's so emotional for her to cope without me in her life, to cope without her only son, to cope without her grandchildren. That is the kind of person Lady Ngozi, Dame Ngozi is. A woman who chose to break the norm. A woman who changed the story. A woman who chose to be different. A woman who chose love over hate and peace over war. A woman who stooped to conquer. A woman who loves another person's child just as she loves her own children. That is the kind of a woman that I call a mother-in-law. Hey! See who is back from daycare. I know. You miss me. I know. How are you? Take some juice. I'm so thirsty. That was good today. Yes. You miss me? I miss you too. I have given birth to her twin here. This is my mother-in-law. This is my mother-in-law. So guys, let me just bring the video to an end. Since my small madam has come back from school, I just wanted to tell you guys that I just wanted to, as I mentioned. So yes guys, I believe that it is better you eulogize somebody when the person is alive. Instead of waiting for their funeral to write them an ode, why not give them their flowers when they can still smell it? So the purpose of this video is not just giving flowers, but it's also to inspire people. It's also like a testimony, because when God does something good for you, if God does something good for me, I would say my testimony. And no, nothing bad will come to me because I chose to say something good or positive that happens to me. No, that's not my belief system. So if God blesses me with something, I will say it loud, I will shout it loud, I will sing it, I would worship Him for it, and I will use my blessing to inspire other people. So for those that are not married, good things exist. Good husbands exist. Good wives exist. Good in-laws exist. And for those that are already married that got it wrong, married into a family where your in-laws didn't treat you well, you need to tell yourself, you need to use this story to tell yourself that I will treat my own daughter-in-laws right. I didn't get a good mother-in-law, but a good mother-in-law would come from me. Let it be a motivation. So Dame Ngozi, the pretty one, why you marama? Don't feel bad, don't be heartbroken. If you're watching this video, your daughter-in-law loves you so much, would continue to love you every day. I miss you so much, and our love and our relationship will continue to grow in Jesus' name. Thank you, Mamaville, for being the best mother-in-law in the whole world. There is no mother-in-law in the whole world that is like my mother-in-law. God would bless you with abundance of riches, good health, and long life. I love you so much, Mama Veil. Please, if you're watching, drop a word of prayer for my mother-in-law in the comment section. She loves to read the comments. She would read it. Please bless her for me. Please thank her for me. And may the God that did it for me also do it for you. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to bring this video to an end now. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is NEZEVILLE. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now,